Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about Bassani exhaust for Sportster. You should be looking into a Bassani exhaust if you're looking to purchase an exhaust product from a man who has an awesome mustache. These things are currently being made by Bassani for every single Evo Sporty on the road today, 86 on up. Even those of you on CAN bus Sporties, Bassani has you covered. Use our bike finder, throw your bike information there. We're going to show you only the exhausts that fit your exact Sportster. Installation on these really is not too difficult. You're looking at 1 to 2 beards on our BSD. Most of you should be able to get this thing on with a little bit of time and some decent tools in your garage. Let's get right into things. So before we kick off and talk about Bassani too much, let me just tell you what it is that you're looking at up here. To my right, your left, you can see here we have a set of Bassani firepower mufflers. These things really are a good looking option. These things are, as you can see, trimmed out with black chrome. These things really are a nice looking and sounding muffler. Coming over this way, you can see we have a set of their radial sweepers. This is a very aggressive looking exhaust. You can see this super sharp slash cut tip over here. These heat shields really set the whole thing off. You can't miss these from a mile away. Then behind me here on our Sportster, we have a set of their mega power pipes on here. These things make huge, huge power and they sound awesome. Give these puppies a listen. Those things sound mean, right? So let's talk a little bit about Bassani. Bassani started making exhaust back in the 60s. This guy has been at this forever. He is still out there riding, making exhaust today. He's got his fingers deep in the business. He's not some dude who sits up in the ivory tower while everybody works. This guy's down there in the trenches with his guys, still making new pipes today. He's a Harley guy to the core. One of the cool things about Bassani is he's one of the rare exhaust makers who maintains as good a reputation on the automotive side of things as he does on the motorcycle side of things. He's learned a lot of things from the automotive world, just in terms of volume and actually how stuff winds up working. That experience does play in nicely, again, with our large bore American motorcycles. So it's kind of strange in that he has really an equal respect in two totally different worlds, and we really only get 50% of his stuff, which is kind of nifty. So in terms of their exhaust, Bassani really has two options. You have two paths you can take if you have a Sportster. For those of you who want to make your bike look a little bit better and you want the thing to sound mean, you're going to want to look at a set of mufflers like the Firepowers over here. These things look great. As I said, they sound mean. These things sound incredible. They spend a little time making sure that you're going to get a Sportster that sounds aggressive and throaty. These things are going to bolt right up, fairly simple install, and the real kicker I think here is for most of you, you're not going to be doing much in the way of tuning. You can remove your factory mufflers. It's a very easy process. Throw a set of these on here, go ride. You don't have to worry too much about tuning. Now I recognize there's some of you out there who don't mind spending a little more money because you want to go a little bit quicker. For those of you who need a little bit of a bump in your horsepower, your performance, you're going to want to consider one of the full systems, like for instance the radial sweepers here, or perhaps the mega power behind me. Now the reason these things make power is actually kind of many. There's a few ways, a few tricks Bassani has up his sleeve to make sure that your bike is going to go a little bit quicker. Let's chat about some of them real fast. So if we flip this thing around so you can see the business part of this particular exhaust, the part that you don't normally see, you'll notice here there's a difference in the diameter of pipe. These are stepped systems. The exhaust is flowing through here, and as it hits each one of these junctures, it actually opens up to fill the new larger space. And as it shoots through there, keeping the velocity up, it makes the actual piston in your engine do a little less work as far as clearing out that pipe. So as that exhaust keeps its velocity up, what it effectively means is your engine is free to spend its time making horsepower rather than pushing exhaust gas out. Now moving to the mega power system behind me, you can see here, this thing's actually kind of cool because it uses equal length header pipes. If you'll notice, the distance between the jugs on your particular bike are different. The front has a longer way to travel than the rear does. So what they do is they actually make the rear pipe longer by jogging it up towards the front and then cutting it back again. What that does is helps each cylinder work equally and helps each cylinder eventually scavenge. Because these cylinders fire at different times, one cylinder pulling exhaust out can actually help suck the incoming air and fuel into the other jug. So realistically, these things are going to work in unison, especially with that equal length header design. One of the other tricks Bassani uses too, you can see back here this collector on here. Daryl Bassani has spent a lot of time working on the collectors on his bike. Effectively, these collectors are collectors within a collector. There's a lot of research that went into this whole area here where this exhaust necks down from 2 into that larger 1-pipe section. That really is a key to making a lot of power. Again, going back to that scavenging, that's going to help each cylinder help the other cylinder as best as possible. So installation-wise, as I had said, 1 to 2 beards, depending on what you're doing and really what kind of goals you have for your motorcycle. So for those of you who don't want a terribly difficult install and you're not so concerned about tweaking every last horsepower to your bike, you're looking at a set of mufflers. Mufflers really are a 1-beard installation. You're going to unbolt your old ones, you're going to bolt up the new ones, everything slips together, clamps are included. Bassani is great about making sure you have the hardware you need to keep those things looking good. Now, if you're looking for, again, that extra punch, you need a little bit more out of your motorcycle. That's where the full system comes in. That's going to really kind of bump up into the 2-beard area of installation. There's a couple reasons. Firstly, it's physically more pipe to install. You are going to be putting up more pipe, and most of the exhaust will have a really nifty heat shield option. You can see here too, I love the heat shields for the radial sweepers they offer. These also come in black. As you can see, they set the bike off. They really look awesome, but they do have a little bit of an installation component to them. You do actually have to put those things on there, and it adds a little bit of complexity to the job. Nothing most of you shouldn't be able to handle without some basic hand tools. Where I think also this kind of jumps into that 2-beard category is that you have to think of your exhaust as part of a larger system of components. Your exhaust is just one piece in getting horsepower out of your bike. So really, this may be done in conjunction with some other stuff. Those of you putting a full system on your bike, you're gonna need to tune it. You're gonna need some sort of a fuel tuner. If you're not rocking a carbureted bike where you can rejet, you will need some method of adding fuel to your engine. Now that's gonna work, again, in conjunction with some other stuff. So those of you who may have a high flow air cleaner, maybe you've done a set of cams in your bike, or perhaps you have different heads, or perhaps you've even done a big bore kit, or you have a stroker, you're going to want to make sure that this is going to work well with your package. That includes both selecting your components and then also making sure that you've got everything tuned correctly. You're adding the right amount of fuel, you've got your ignition dialed in. However, once you do that, if you take the time to go through, tune that bike, either yourself or have a dyno tuner do it for you, I think the benefits are going to be immediately noticeable. Uncorking a Harley, helping it breathe better both at the front end and the back end, really does pay off a lot in terms of performance dividends. I think Bassani really makes some great looking pipes here. They sound awesome. Everybody knows these things are killer, and the look of these obviously is completely inimitable. My opinion is not the only one that matters though. Click below, check out what some folks who are already rocking a Bassani product on their bike have to say about it. If you got a question about fitment or maybe something I didn't answer for you, let's get in touch with one of our gear geeks. cs@RevZilla.com. You can always get us on the phone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.